You are now listening to the Pelicans post-game report. Flash report.
Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of PPR. Big Q representing the flock and nation. Stand up for all things Pelicans. We up in this thing, man. Listen, this what went on today, man, covering this August the 6th start of everything tied to Lauri Markkanen, BI, all that kind of stuff. And, we were just monitoring to see how it goes. But this is what Shams, who's a insider for many things in the NBA, had to say about the situation.
Any other extensions that we can expect coming up soon?
Well, the only other really trade name, big all-star caliber guy that kind of falls in that same Lauri Markkanen boat is Brandon Ingram. And his future in New Orleans, David Griffin has talked about it. Brandon Ingram wants to stay in New Orleans. New Orleans wants Brandon Ingram. The holdup there as he goes into the final year of his deal is the money. The Jazz are willing to give Lauri Markkanen near the max contract. The Pelicans, as of right now, it's a financial thing. They have DeJounte Murray locked in for $100 million plus. CJ McCollum's locked into big money. Zion Williamson's locked into big money. So if you give a fourth guy in that market, they want to see what that team looks like. And right now, from what I'm told, Brandon Ingram's trade market is limited. I think the sense around New Orleans is he's going to be there. They are fully expecting Brandon Ingram to be a part of the team going into next season. There's a team mini camp at the end of the month. Brandon Ingram right now is expected to be at that. And so the sense around New Orleans is you start the year, see what you have, and then make any adjustments that you have to. But that was really the only other major trade name. And from what I'm told, he's looking for 45 to 50 million per year in an extension.
All right, and that's pretty much what we already knew, right? We talked about that on PPR. We covered it ad nauseum. We knew that the asking price that they were talking about was $50 million. I remember saying north of 45 million, and the Pelicans are not willing to give Brandon Ingram that because of some of the things that we all know, all of the contracts that Shams mentioned, and the potential signing of Trey Murphy. His extension also has to factor in because he is a better fit in terms of the centerpiece, which is supposed to be Zion Williamson. So no clear, how can I say it? There's no clear resolution here. The Pelicans won't give Brandon Ingram his 45 million or 45, $50 million. I'm hearing 50. But the reality is this: we're still in that Mexican showdown, that moment of truth. Pelicans still have Brandon Ingram under contract for the upcoming year, and we'll just have to watch and see what happens here going forward. So like we talked about, man, it's just one of those things that we knew all the time, and it was the same thing. Could there be a potential trade on the horizon for Brandon Ingram between now and the trade deadline in February? Well, we'll just have to watch now, won't we? Like I said, it's a weird energy over the top of the team currently, but it is what it is, man. The Pelicans will have to deal with it moving forward, man. So we'll just keep an eye on it, man, like we usually do here at PPR. All right, so let's keep it moving, man. Let's move on to the next one right here and talk about some more stuff here. Is the Pelicans ditch Bally Sports. So that terrible app that kept jamming up that we had to deal with. Guess what? They said Bally, peace, and they enter a partnership with local station for new TV deal. And why would they? Why would they not do that? It made more sense to do that because they had a lot more coverage across the areas. They had opportunities to get this thing right. That app was really creaky. It would stop, and it wasn't well done. It was a terrible inconvenience, and I'm glad they got up off of that thing. New Orleans Pelicans will broadcast their games on over the Air TV on a full-time basis starting next season. You should have known that when they beta tested it. The Times-Picayune has learned. The Pelicans, who in 2023-24 experimented by showing a handful of games on WVUE, Fox 8, have struck a multi-year partnership with Gray Television, one of the nation's largest owners of local television stations. The agreement with Gray means that the vast majority of the Pelicans' 82 regular season games next season will be available for free in Louisiana, the New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Lake Charles, Alexandria, Monroe. This is state coverage. Mississippi, which is Biloxi, Jackson, Hattiesburg, and Meridian, and Alabama and Mobile. So that's good. It's kind of weird why I wouldn't go into the BHAM market where the G League team is, but this is the thing. So this is a very good thing because basically it covers the Pelicans territory, the 3-state territory the Pelicans have. And I wouldn't be surprised that more TV stations are added if Gray has networks in North Alabama. But as it stands, this is what it is. So it'll be interesting to see. The move will improve the Pelicans' accessibility and allow the team to reach a significantly larger TV audience. The 7 games the Pelicans showed on WVOE TV, Fox 8 last season, and other major over-the-air stations drew an average of over 46,000 TV households, a 260% increase from the 12.8 TV households the team averaged on Diamond-owned Bally Sports, according to Nielsen data. The 3 games the Pelicans broadcast on the substation Bounce TV had last season drew an average of over 18,000 people. Next season, a significant amount of Pelicans games will be shown on Bounce TV and other substations throughout the Gulf South. The financially impaired Diamond Sports in the midst of bankruptcy proceedings. In July, the Pelicans were told that they were one of 5 teams Diamond planned to drop in its attempt to remain financially viable. That prompted the Pelicans to hold discussions with other potential TV partners. So it appeared that Diamond, how about that? Diamond said, Pelicans, we're going to have to drop your ass. How about that? That's crazy. Last weekend, Diamond Sports re-engaged with the Pelicans and offered them a new deal that was more lucrative than anything they previously had presented. The Pelicans on Monday notified many of the major players involved that they were still choosing Gray as their broadcast partner, despite Diamond's offer being 20% higher, according to sources. So there you go. Well, it goes to show you, man, that even though they were offering more money, it just made more sense with the viewership, double the viewership that Diamond Sports could do. And then they had that creaky ass app. So I'm happy for that. That app is gone, man. But anyway, the Pelicans' decision to part ways with Diamonds is a part of a larger trend of NBA teams making their games more accessible to local audiences. It just makes more sense. The Jazz and Suns also last season introduced streaming services to their local audience. The Pelicans are working with the NBA to bring a streaming product to the market next season. Play-by-play voice Joel Myers and color commentator Antonio Daniels will continue calling the Pelicans games. So there you go. For people saying, hey, man, what about Joel and AD? Don't worry. They will be on the news. They will do like pretty much what they did last year when they were switching to Gray. They were still doing it. So this is Jen Hayes as the sideline reporter. So there you go. All right. And let's move on to this one. And this is another one, man. We're doing our flash report. And this is just a little update on it. You heard what Sham said. A little bit more, cherries on top of that thing. Pelicans face frozen Brandon Ingram trade market after Lauri Markkanen deal. And this is what they're saying about Dobson. The Pelicans' quest to find a suitable trade partner for BI has hit another roadblock. The Jazz were once considered one of the most sensible potential destinations for the talented forward. Utah President Danny Ainge put a damp towel on the small fires by inking Markkanen to a long-term contract extension. Now Markkanen is ineligible to be traded this season, effectively taking the Jazz out of the running for Ingram. New Orleans is not being left in the lurch here. Sources indicate the Pelicans expect a mild tepid market for Ingram in May. The Pelicans have fielded calls, but have not been frustrated by having fewer options in the market. Ingram and the front office have expressed their desire to continue the relationship. The only sticking point is the future price tag. Those are just a few reasons the Ingram market is not effectively frozen. The Jazz only have a surplus to requirements, spare parts to offer in return. The Pelicans need more than that to even consider calling it quits on the current core. Just look at what Utah wants to use to acquire all-star options. And then you throw what could possibly be that they can throw in there. John Collins there, an overpaid, saying the guy says overpaid front court option, 27 years old, getting $26.6 million and can leave after the season. The type of salary cap hit makes him a less attractive option for the Pelicans. The deal comes due eventually. Replacing a high-cost rental option is all but impossible. Despite his athleticism and potential, Collins has struggled to consistently perform at the level that justifies his salary. He averages over 15 points a game and 8.5 rebounds while shooting 53.2% from the floor. All right, can Willie work with that and get better results? The next one, how about another center? We got 4 of them. Walker Kessler, a solid center, but not enough. And the talking points on that is Kessler's shown significant potential. It could be a valuable asset for any team. The Jazz promising young center is also on the market for the reason. Utah has been drumming up interest in Kessler for months, but at an unreasonable high price. The sticker shock of multiple first-round selections is too much in an Ingram deal. Kessler for Jordan Hawkins makes more sense for all parties. Kessler's stout defense and reliable rebounding will be great next to Zion. Yves, Carlo Mekovic could fill out the reserve rotation. However, Ingram is exponentially better than Kessler. Ingram's scoring ability, versatility, overall impact on the game make him a far superior player. The Pelicans would need more than just Kessler and salary filler to justify trading that star forward away. As the trade deadline approached, the Pelicans face a tough decision. If Ingram continues to demand $50 million per contract, per year on an extension, the team must weigh their options carefully. However, Collins and Kessler might not even be able to play together, lessen their overall value to New Orleans. While Ingram's talent is undeniable, the financial implications of such a deal could hinder the team's flexibility in the future. And if the best offer on the table involves a package centered around Kessler and Collins, the Pelicans might have to consider pulling the trigger despite the less than ideal returns. I disagree. I don't think Kessler and John Collins is enough for any deal. I think the Pelicans kind of roped themselves in to the situation and they have to sit on it. That's the only thing that we can do about right now is the Pelicans. This means that Ingram is going to pretty much be here. So we just have to enjoy this and see how the Pelicans use the center by committee approach, how the DeJounte Murray and Willie Green fits together. Will they finally build a system around Zion Williamson that means that BI in his final year here plays effectively? Can Willie get BI to shoot more threes? I think BI, you'll see a very good version of BI this season because BI is playing for a contract, if not from the Pelicans, most certainly not from the Pelicans, but most certainly from another team. So it is what it is. The Pelicans have made peace. And I've said this, they've made peace with keeping BI here, even though they say both sides want to stay together. But how does that even make sense when the Pelicans don't value BI at $45 to $50 million? No team does. And BI is very stubborn on his decision to keep his money demands high. Despite that, that's a big sticking point that eventually lead Brandon Ingram away from here. And like I said, the timeline on BI being here, even Griffin said that before he decided to move in this direction, because what other direction can he move in now? He has to save face and move forward with the team currently constructed. So anyway, with that being said, that'll be enough here, man. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. This is Big Q representing PPR. Much love to y'all. I'll holler at y'all on the next one. Go Pels.
Subscribe now and stay up to date for all things New Orleans